Hi everyone, it's Tony.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sam Rodriguez here with my pops.
He fell out of the sky.
Yeah, I did.
Today we have a boys project.
Yeah.
What are we making?
As it's a boys project, so we're making pickles.
We're making pickles. We're making pickles.
We're gonna take.
I know it sounds. It just all of a sudden it sounded really perverted, but it wasn't intended to.
We're taking you through this step by step.
Yes.
We got our ingredients here.
All right, we're gonna show you real quick. Ingredients. What do we got here? We got pickles. All right, and we're gonna cut them in half or quarters, and then we're gonna take some of these things. We're gonna take some vinegar, some crushed red pepper seeds, some pickling spice, which, to be honest with you, it's a combination of things. Mostly things that pickle.
Combo.
Things that pickle.
Yeah.
It's basically mustard seed, coriander seed.
They can read.
Right
awesome. Next ingredient.
All right, dill weed. Then we're gonna put some canning and pickling salt and some garlic. We're gonna mince the garlic, and of course we have a gigantic. Show them the container, Sam. A gigantic pickle jar. First, we're gonna put all the ingredients in here. We got some garlic. We're gonna take about that much of the pickling spice. Get closer so I can show them. We're gonna do a little bit of dill weed. About that much. We like our spicy. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. And then we'll do this a little bit later. Gonna add some water to that. About that much water. Voila. We're gonna bring it to a boil. All right. Now, Sam will keep cutting the peppers or the cucumbers, and then I'll show you in a minute how it works. Cucumbers without killing yourself, Sam.
First, put it flat, and then boom. It's pretty simple. You're all grown adults. You should be able to cut a pickle.
What about the round part?
The round part, well, you got to risk killing yourself there. Just do it quickly.
All right. And are they all even? Quality control. Some are better than others. We're not gonna go hold it against them.
I just ruined these. As you're quality controlling me.
All right. In light of the situation we're currently dealing with, Sam, what advice do you have for everybody?
We encourage you to wash your hands with warm water and soap for at least 20 seconds, as advised by the CDC.
Yes. All right. So, because of editing reasons, we're redoing this portion of it. You add vinegar. Ooh, vinegar. About so much. Basically, from about here to about here in vinegar, okay? Then, you're gonna add some canning and pickling salt. And about that much. Like one of these full spoons kind of thing. And a lot of it will be based on taste. Pickles, when you're pickling them, they're not going to be, they don't have any salt. So what will happen is when you put the salt in, even if it's a little bit saltier, it's going to get absorbed into the pickle, which is what gives it that kind of nice little snappy flavor. So don't be afraid to over salt, okay? Now, you bring this boiling disaster over, and of course, we did a taste test. Perfect. And then you're gonna put this all over the pickles, just like that. You see?
Get those pickles steaming hot.
You're not.
And wet.
You just want them all to be kind of soaked in, right? Now, in our case, we used a little bit of dill weed to season that, but we don't want to do overkill on dill weed when you're boiling it. So we're gonna add some more here afterwards. Okay, it's the way that we like the flavor. Now this recipe which isn't the recipe. It's basically an improvised thing because we never use recipes in our household. We basically just kind of go by how it feels. But you'll notice the temperature will change of this water because the pickles were refrigerated, so they are acting kind of as a cooling agent. But that reaction is enough to cause them to get pickled. Then, once this temperature reduces to something more manageable, we'll take the pickles, transfer them into here. We're gonna not put all of the spice in. We're only gonna put some of the spice in. Mostly we're gonna use the liquid to cover them completely. Then we're gonna leave this jar with all of the pickles inside and all of them soaked completely all the way to the top. We're gonna leave this lid on there. We're not gonna cover it. We're not gonna close it. We're gonna just leave it superficially like that so that it can vent. And we're gonna let that sit for a minimum of 24 hours at room temperature in the counter. And then once you get to the point where they've sat out for a good 24 hours, and you cover it and refrigerate. After about 5 or 6 hours, these babies are ready to go. They would have absorbed all of the flavor, and they'll be nice and crispy. They'll be just like Clausen's pickles, the ones that you pay about $5 or $6 a little jar for. This here is about maybe $3 worth of pickles, and by the time it's all said and done, you'll end up with about 4 or 5 times the volume of what you would have had you bought them already pre-made. The other thing is, you'll find that the shelf life of these things is great. They can sit in your fridge probably for about 2 or 3 months, and I'm not even joking. So they're great for the coronavirus situation where you want to preserve some stuff, but just in case you have an emergency and you need a pickle, you got that situation under control. So what are we doing now, Sam?
Now we're putting all these pickles into this here jar.
All right, let's see.
You're gonna want to get as many of them standing up at the bottom as you can. Do my best. A good way to do that is to get it sideways.
Nice. It's also one of the reasons that it's important to try and get as many uniform sized pickles as possible, as close as possible, so that when they're sitting in the jar, you can layer them. You see? Sam's doing an excellent job of laying them here sideways. Once that's done, we'll add the juice. And right now, if you were to snap into a pickle, what would it taste like, Sam?
It would taste mostly like a pickle.
Right. It's the actual and the brine or whatever the liquid would be called. It would be a little bit on the what side, Sam?
On the sour/salty side.
Right. But eventually that flavor will seep in as it saturates, and that's one of the reasons you want it to be out at room temperature for at least 24 hours so that it has the opportunity to do that. Once you refrigerate, you kind of slow down the process and kind of neutralize it. So Sam's going to keep filling it up. Once we have it all filled up, we'll show you what we're going to do with the liquid and how we're going to handle that. But I shouldn't say bye. It's not like that. It's just
telling them how
cut.
The house smells.
And cut. Keep going, keep going. Yay. More. We're almost at about here. We may need to add some water. Not a big deal. Get as much of that garlic as possible. There you go. Let's see how we're doing on the juice. And all right. So now we have the pickles. We have a nice amount of the garlic and other seasoning in there. And now we're just gonna leave this little lid on here like that. All right. Let that sit there for 24 hours. And tomorrow, you just cover it up, put it in the fridge, and you have pickles.
All right. It's been 24 hours since our last recording, And not only have the pickles properly marinated, we've also had time to put them in the fridge. We also opted to put a label on. You can choose to do the same at your house if you so choose. Now it's time for the taste test.
All right.
Gotta find a good one. Can be a little bit difficult, but if you get a fork, it should be fine.
How is it?
Now that's a delicious pickle.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. We'll see you next time.